how much of, if we interviewed, I don't know, because I think you're successful. I aspire to be kind of, you're a few steps ahead of me where I want to be with this business. How much of it comes down to me just going, oh, Dwayne's more successful than me, I'll be miserable until I get there, versus I go, well, I'm doing okay. I can be grateful and successful in the process. I'm not asking a very good question here, but do you know what I mean?
I understand your question. I do. I'm interpreting this. There's a bunch of elements there. So first thing I suggest people never do is get a disease that I call comparisonitis. And comparisonitis is always looking at somebody as maybe doing better or worse than you. Reason being, let's say I want to get a boat and I get the biggest, nicest boat I can find. Well, I'm going to park this thing in slips where other big boats park. And sooner or later, a bigger, newer boat's going to pull up beside me. And I'm going to feel like shit again. So comparisonitis, there's 2 points to that. I do look at people that motivate me that I aspire to be like, but I know everybody's life conditions are different. But I more look at them as a potential outcome for myself that I'm moving towards. If I want to pay the price, if I want to pay that price, there's times in my life where I've decided not to do it. But the only comparative thing I really look at, and I said it earlier, is myself. Jealousy is a crippling thing for a lot of people. I just think it's an awful emotion. I've been very blessed to not have it in me. I've never been jealous of anybody. If somebody is better than me, I'm just like, I might ask you a question. How did you do this? I don't want the details, but give me some steps because I want to get better. So I think one thing is you can't always be externally motivated. There has to be an internal motivation where you're comparing yourself to you, if that makes sense.
That makes total sense.
Yeah. The other aspect of what you just said, I just lost my train of thought. Where were you going with that yourself?
I have no idea, Dwayne. But you kind of.
I know what it was.
Go on.
I know what it was. Sorry. Goal setting is also extremely personal. Some people might goal set to be debt free and they feel great about that. Other people goal set to accumulate assets, to buy cars. Some people want X number of dollars in the bank. Some people look at, arriving as having free time, having great relationships, being extremely vibrant. So this goes back to having multiple goals in multiple areas because everybody's blueprint's different. Everybody's life is different. It's supposed to be. So that's another thing we can get into is trying to judge ourselves by how somebody else has decided to live their life. There's a big self-awareness piece here. It just doesn't happen overnight. Once you start doing this, what I found about for the first year of me goal setting, what I was writing down was the societal would, should, could. The familial, you better do this and don't do that. The friends, well, I've got this and you should do that. And all of a sudden I got to a point where I'm like, these aren't even my ideas that I'm writing down. So I started to eliminate a bunch of stuff off my list, go, what do I really want? And that's when it really changed for me. And the gratitude, again, was part of it because I realized I'm just wired differently than you and you are than the person beside you. So there's a big self-awareness piece. Just have people's goal set and they go, I want to make this happen. There's a lot of other deep psychology that goes on that you discover about yourself in the world when you really start to do this process properly.
Yeah, I understood some of this when I spoke to when I last